on, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and with me, as always, is John Rambo.
Yes, what are we doing today?
Today we are doing Smark, guys.
I forgot.
Today is January 19th, 2013, and we have some things to talk about leading up into the upcoming Royal Rumble, some of the plot lines that WWE has been doing. We're coming off of a fresh TNA Genesis pay-per-view. We'll talk a little bit about the results there, about what they did on the show this week. Pretty bizarre, but
a good time.
Bizarre but entertaining. Wondering what's going to happen on the show. But all right, so continuing on with the lead up to the Royal Rumble this week, Raw had The Rock yet again.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, the whole show, all they're talking about, The Rock, The Rock, The Rock, The Rock,
well,
The Rock, The Rock, The Rock.
The show itself, let me just say generally, like, it was supposed to, they hyped it up as like a special 20th anniversary show. And they did a really nice job with the intro, which was a combination of like all the past intros, and so that was cool, you know.
Right.
And then Vince opened the show, and they're like, all right, this is gonna be like a special show, right? But then it was really just kind of like the same.
It was a normal Raw, yeah.
They had no one there. Flair he came because he's pretty broke.
He had nothing else to do.
Yeah, and then that was pretty much it. So it was kind of a little disappointing.
You know, it's bad when Flair is getting jokes about his bar tab that he can't pay. It's like, what the hell is this? Poor guy's all broken
Cesaro had
down.
a great line. He's like, you hold the 4 fingers that represent your wives, or so. That was pretty good.
Yeah, your ex-wives.
Well, you know, we'll talk into that segment. You know, he was going to get beat up.
Right.
But, yeah, just in general, it didn't come off like a special show. I know that the rating did go up, similar to what was it, the
Raw 1000.
Raw 1000. It wasn't as high as that, but once again, you may have gotten some more people in, and they're probably not going to watch it ever again because you didn't really give them something good.
Right.
In the end.
So the show started off with Vince, like you said, comes out. He's talking about the history of Raw.
Well, first of all, he called himself an iconic, amazing god or something.
Yeah, some kissing his own ass,
right.
And you know, talking about the history of Raw and blah blah blah. And as he's cutting this promo, the Big Show comes out.
Then it got bad and went from bad to worse.
Yes, because the Big
And
Show,
he belittles Big Show, even though he's huge.
Lost the title, the World Heavyweight Championship, on the previous week's SmackDown, as we talked about last week. And he's upset. He's like, I shouldn't have had to be in the match, blah, blah, whining, you know. So Del Rio, who won the title from him, comes out with Ricardo Rodriguez, who I really have no idea what his role is anymore. And
He's his friend. He's my friend.
He's his friend.
He's my friend. And what are you doing? Did you pick you on my friend?
And he throws confetti on the Big Show, and it's really stupid, and it's just not a good way to open up the 20th anniversary of Raw.
I mean, also for Big Show, who's at times is a monster. I mean, he's talking about this. At times he's like the biggest wuss ever. Now he's afraid of Vince, and I'm sorry, call me Mr. McMahon. I'm 8 years old, and you're twice the size of me, but how dare you? And he's like, I'm sorry, Vince. And it's kind of interesting though. If you look at 20 years of Raw, 93 to 2003, incredibly different. Mm-hmm. In every way.
Yeah.
Presentation of the show, the way the show's formatted and stuff like that. 2003 to 2013, same thing. Perhaps that's why it's kind of stale. It's pretty much the same decade of the same stuff.
That's true. That is true.
You open up with your GM, then you have a couple crappy matches, and then you have some fart jokes.
Stupid, funny segments that aren't funny because it's only Vince's bad humor.
Right. So
tits.
That's where we're at. 20 years. Let's go.
Okay.
20 more.
Now this next match I was so pleased with.
Really?
Wade Barrett wins clean over Randy Orton in a singles match.
I'm going to have to take a dump in your Cheerios though, Phil.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, I thought it was really great. I agree. But like, that they do this from time to time with Orton where like Wade's beaten him before or Ziggler will beat him. But then he eventually, at the end, he buries them in a future match. So if it stands, like, okay, keep them apart for a while, that's cool. But if he beats them next week, then it's kind of,
Right.
There's no point.
Right. So, so clean win. Gives Wade Barrett a little bit of a push, but like you said, they're probably going to deflate.
Well, they've done this role many times before with him.
Team Hell No underwent their 4-month evaluation with Dr. Shelby. Do I even need to talk about it?
There's some funny parts to that, but no, I don't think
it's their stupid comedy segment. It leads into a singles match, Kane against Damian Sandow, where Kane beats him, and it's like, now Damian Sandow's lost every match for the past month in a row. Every week he has a match, every week he gets squashed. So how can you even be pushing these guys as a legit tag team?
Plus, they beat the Road Scars. They've beaten them every time too.
Every time, right?
It's funny on Raw is they did the two partners face each other, and Team Hell No won both matches.
Right, right. So it's not even like even. It's very lopsided.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is interesting, this one, because we can actually talk a little bit about this. So this week it was announced that Mick Foley is going to be the first inductee into the 2013 WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes, absolutely. Well deserved there.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, the guy carried the company for a while. You know, what was it, the late 90s, the Attitude Era. He was a big part of it.
Absolutely. I mean, he wasn't always like the number one guy, but he was the facilitator, really. That he was like the glue guy that he would put over, like the Austin and the Rock, and then like a really hard match. Brutal match where he would take most of the bumps and then they would go over and look great,
So very good, very well deserved, and I would like to note that I actually nabbed us a couple tickets to attend that on the Saturday before WrestleMania. I don't have them yet; they're going to mail them this week, but they're not as good as our WrestleMania seats, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
But that'll be cool to see Mick, get the nod.
Absolutely, I've been a big fan of him for his entire career too before WWE. There's a lot of other rumored guys. They're saying DX might go in as a group. That'd be cool for there.
The whole group.
There's a lot of different rumors about who else might be going in. So
okay, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, Bob Backlund, a couple other things.
So Mick comes out, and it looks like he's going to talk about being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He gets completely cut off, like way too early.
Well, usually they play a video.
Right.
And they did actually make one. They put it up on their website. It was probably on this app right
It was actually on SmackDown.
Yeah, okay.
They played it.
Yeah.
They didn't play it on Raw.
They didn't play it on Raw. It comes out because it's great to be here.
Right.
And then the Shield comes out, and then Ryback beats him up.
Ryback, Sheamus, and Randy Orton, who have been involved with the Shield for the past several weeks, they come out and basically save Mick Foley by taking out the Shield.
Right.
So what it's looking to me like is maybe what they're leading up to at the Rumbles, during the Royal Rumble match, these two factions will go at it. Maybe they'll all be in the ring at once, and you'll see finally like a kind of a 3-on-3 face-off.
Unless it's a match, but I don't know if they'll do that.
I don't think because why would they double duty?
I don't know.
They're definitely, those guys are going to be in the Rumble. We already know that. Orton and Sheamus are in the Rumble definitely. So I would assume.
See, with the Shield, I think it's good. They have to kind of start establishing a little more who the guys are. Oh, it's the Shield. Here they are, fucking crazy people. But they should, this is Seth Rollins. This is his moves.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the character.
It's funny because when they let them do stuff, they impress. They're actually good. But you're right. They're not defined as characters yet.
Yeah, we need a little more of the backstory. A little flesh them out more.
Right. I agree.
The stuff they do is really good. Yeah, I'm not saying that, but
I agree.
Explain who they are a little bit. Give them some mic time instead of running away from them, having been on the mic for 5 minutes.
Right.
It's probably more effective.
Right. Up next, we have a Impromptu Divas title match, because after the past 2 weeks where Caitlyn has gotten title shots against Eve has found ways to weasel out. Either she gets DQ'd or she runs away. She does all this stuff to get out of the match.
She tried to have sex with Booker T.
She tried to have, that's right.
Say, you did not just try to do that. Whatever that said.
Did you see Shawn Mill backstage?
I don't know if he's, I think he's with her still. I don't know.
I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
All right, well, we'll say he is. I don't know.
So they have this match, and finally Caitlyn wins. And it's kind of a weird way that she wins, is that Eve throws her over the barrier, and I guess she's trying to get her counted out or something. And Caitlyn gets right back up, no-sells it, runs to the other side of the ring, comes up behind her and spears her and wins the match.
That's Eve's last match.
And it's apparently Eve's last match. Like, she's leaving, apparently. Is it true? Like, she really is completely leaving?
Yeah, they're all gone. They all left.
All the divas have left
They're all leaving. There really is no division there. The only one that could actually wrestle is Natalya, and she's with Greek Khali for some reason.
I don't think Caitlyn going to wrestle now.
The problem with the divas, they're not wrestlers. They're not people that go, I want to be a wrestler. They're just like hot chicks that can do 100 different things in the entertainment world. They go, we'll do this for a couple of years.
Right.
And they do something else, And they're not people that are like, I want to be a wrestler, and that's what my career is going to be that. I want to be the greatest ever. And they have them for a couple of years, and they're gone. And there's like 3 left now.
Yeah, like they have a division, but it's not a division. It's a bunch of, Oksana. That's who they have Caitlyn wrestling now. Oksana. What? Like, she's not even a wrestler.
Oksana's there.
She's just a pair of tits. She's not even a character anymore.
She's terrible. A lot of them are really bad.
Yeah.
Caitlyn, I mean, okay, she's from Texas. We know that.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Okay. CM Punk defeats Brodus Clay in a singles match. And I almost felt like this match was like, did you remember that CM Punk is actually a good wrestler? Because he hasn't wrestled in a while except for that match last week, which had a shit ending because of the Shield. So let's have a real match now. So he finally gets his real match with someone, and he goes over with the Anaconda Vice, and it's like, well, he is the champion, so technically, yeah, maybe he should be able to wrestle.
I like Brodus' promo before the match, where he's like, I don't do that because...
oh my god!
And then I like how Punk was like mocking doing the dance.
Yeah.
But I mean, Brodus, like, he's just such a jobber now. You know, like...
All the people who basically they were building up last year to become bigger new characters are all jobbers, except for Ryback.
Yeah, well, Cesaro's doing well.
I guess that's true too. Cesaro came out on the top there. But you got
Sandow, he kind of, they kind of flushed him.
He's kind of a jobber now, fucking Tensai.
Oh, he's not even on.
When do we talk about SmackDown?
Oh,
Where do you hear this? Where do you hear this? He is now the jobber of jobbers, but we will talk about that. Okay, we'll get to that.
He's the Shockmaster now.
Three-man band has an over-the-top rope challenge handicap match against Sheamus.
I didn't even really watch this because I just knew it was going to happen.
I don't think anybody did.
I went back in the room and Sheamus was winning, so I was like, alright, that's it.
Yeah, so I've seen enough. Okay, Miz TV. The Miz, I guess, doesn't wrestle anymore. He has Miz TV yet again, and on the show he has special guest Ric Flair. And I don't know, I have mixed feelings about this. Because personally, I am a big fan of Flair, like, in the ring and everything, so I liked how he was just basically, it was like a homage to him, it was just, he was doing the strut, and they were, kind of doing the woos and everything. I'm like, okay, I thought that was neat. And also, almost did seem a little bit like Flair is ready to pass the torch to the new generation, because basically he's like saying, to the Miz, he's basically saying, I like you, as a wrestler, as a character, and I like that. But for anyone who doesn't really know who Flair is or care, would you just think that was a cock-sucking session? You know what I mean?
What was your greatest memory on Raw? What was your It just seemed like I don't know, it just seemed like it was kind of a waste. There wasn't really much going on there.
Right.
And Cesaro come out, which was what they always do. They have like a legend, and then Uriel come out, and the legend beats the crap out of him. Right. And then that's pretty much what happened. Miz put him in the figure 4. I guess he's using that now.
He used it twice. He used it again later on in the week, so yeah.
I don't know what to think about the Miz face turn. I don't think it's really working out that well.
They need to give him something to do, and every week it's something different. Every week he's the vessel to push someone else's agenda rather than him having his own agenda. And that's the problem right now. If they would give him a program with someone solid, I think he could work as a face, but they're not letting him do that. They're making him push everything else on the planet. So it's only going to go so far. Daniel Bryan, as we already said, he beats Cody Rhodes clean. We don't even need to talk about it. Yeah. And then, so stupid, steel cage match, John Cena against Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, the best part about this one, before the match, Ziggler cuts a promo and he goes, "This is the match my entire life. I've been prepared for my entire life. The 20th anniversary of Raw, this is the biggest match of my life. I've been prepared for this." So he puts it over, this means so much to him. So obviously he's going to win, but no, he does not win. And the match was terrible. I don't care what anyone says. It was literally, it got to a point where it was literally Ziggler does a spot to Cena. He does an offensive spot to Cena, and Cena kicks out. Yep. And they did it again, and again. It was 5 times. Yep. And
it's always teasing. Will he finally win? Will he finally get the win over Cena? No, they won't let him do it.
And then in the end, Big E ran in and hit him. Tried to use the briefcase. He hit Ziggler by accident.
Stupid.
And Cena pinned.
So stupid.
It's John Cena's company. John Cena's the champion. He's been champion all year. I don't care if you look at other ways. Main evented more shows. And the entire Punk Rock thing is done to facilitate Cena in the end. Yep. Because Rock's going to win the title, and Cena's going to win the title. Yep. And he's the best in the world and all that stuff.
I agree.
And that's what it is. That's what's hurt the company for so many years, and that's the path they're still going down in the end.
Terrible. And then the main event, Rock concert, where The Rock basically very sexist song against Vicky Guerrero.
I thought it was pretty funny.
It was funny, but it's still very sexist and insulting. And it's like, what did she ever do to The Rock that he's doing this to her?
Well, she yelled at him or something backstage or something.
I don't know.
But,
so sexist.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. This stuff was funny. There's not many guys that could do that. The way the crowd just kind of eats out of his hand like that. You know? And, I thought it was good times. You look horrible tonight or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
So he sings this. Yeah, that was a Clapton song, right?
Yeah.
And then Punk comes out, and they brawl a little bit.
Yeah, I thought they should have done it last week instead of having The Rock just lay him out.
Right.
Like why? Where was the security last week?
Right.
But Rock was able to get his hands on him, but this week they just did the classic pull apart. That's what they should always do. because they should never be doing moves and stuff because you want to see that in the actual match.
Right, exactly. I agree.
So,
So
I thought that was a good ending.
it's a good build-up. I just hope that with the momentum they have now, they don't flub it this Monday because they still have one more Raw before the Royal Rumble. I'm wondering what could they do to fuck it up now.
I think they got this figured out, and I think it'll be good. But
All right, so we'll talk.
Rock's winning that match.
We'll talk more about that next week. I don't want to think about it right now. SmackDown. SmackDown opens up with Del Rio celebrating his title win. He's got a fiesta going on in the ring. He's got dancers in the ring. He's got a mariachi band. There's piñatas and balloons and everything, which of course prompts 100 people to come out and challenge him. So first Ziggler comes out. Oh, you're not a real champion. I could win at any time if I cash this in. Then Big Show comes out. Oh, you didn't really beat me. It's bullshit.
It's funny as I think Ziggler actually will cash in for a Rumble and probably win. And then I don't think he's going to make it to WrestleMania with the belt.
I don't think so either. No. Or maybe he will, and then he'll drop it at WrestleMania. But I don't think they want him to main event WrestleMania.
Ziggler, they just don't look at him as a top guy, and they don't treat him like one, and they just don't want him to be one. You know.
Right.
It's almost like with Jericho, where people really liked him in the beginning, and then he won. And they gave him like a really crappy reign, and that's probably what's going to happen here.
Yep.
It's kind of for no reason really. What did he ever do?
Yep. I agree.
He got over, and then. Okay.
So it looks like at one point that Del Rio is going to be attacked by Biggie, Langston, Dolph, and Big Show, but then Sheamus runs out and saves him. So now there's announced there's going to be a big tag team match at the main event. It's going to be obviously the faces versus the heels. It's actually 2-on-2. Biggie isn't in the match, so once again Biggie doesn't wrestle.
He almost kind of looks like a jobber because he does all this stuff and like Cena will just kick out.
Yeah.
Of like his finisher and stuff. He's like a jobber that hangs out with Ziggler. It stands there.
This was a cool match. Antonio Cesaro against Kofi Kingston. Because both guys are doing their normal sets, you know. Kofi's doing the high-flying stuff. Cesaro's doing the technical wrestling stuff. And the ending is great. So Kingston does a flying body press off the turnbuckle.
Yes.
And Cesaro catches him in midair, turns it into the neutralizer, and finishes him. So it was a really cool ending, and that's the kind of ending I like to see. It's not always the standard ending, you know, where he gets it random. It's like he reversed the move into it, and that was
so just like picking the guy up. Oh, here I go now.
Exactly. So that was a good match. Now here's the match I was telling you about.
Tensai falls through the ring. Shit falls through the ceiling.
The Great Khali against Tensai.
Oh my god!
And it's a squash match.
Come on.
Basically, Tensai gets almost no offense, and Khali all of a sudden randomly just goes, boop, chops him in the head, 1, 2, 3. You're like, now wait a minute. Great Khali is a jobber. So a jobber beat a jobber. So basically, he's the jobber's jobber.
Yeah.
He's the guy who you used to put over the person who's gonna job someone else later.
Jobber.
It's like, oh my god, why do you even bother coming back?
They should fully repackage him and like make him E-Train or something and put him in a team or something. I don't know. He needs a total different direction change. Which is sad because he's only been back for like 6 months.
It's awful, man.
Yeah.
Okay, next was a 6-man tag. Randy Orton and Team Hell No against the Team Rhodes Scholars and Wade Barrett. And this was such a stupid match because now, I'm sorry, at first I liked Team Hell No, now I hate them. Because all they are cartoons. They won't let them wrestle, they won't let them do stuff. The whole match is cartoonish in nature. It ends up with Randy Orton RKOing Sandow. And then after the match, they hug it out.
Yeah.
It's Orton and Team Hell No hug in the ring. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
I find some of it funny. I don't like when they fight the Rhodes Scholars. It's just beyond cartoonish because like Cody Rhodes' gimmick is that he has a mustache, and Sandow's completely ridiculous. And,
it's like they always feel like they need to have a comedy segment.
I like when they fought the Shield because then that was like, okay, now we're gonna fight.
Right, that's different. That was like a good fight.
Right.
They actually got to wrestle and perform.
When they're in with certain people, it's just like this is way over the top, you know.
The Miz. Now, this is what I mean about The Miz. So weird.
He has no purpose.
He's backstage, and Epico and Primo start making fun of him for hanging out with Ric Flair on Raw. I was like, what is this?
That's something to be made fun of.
So it's funny because he challenges them to a match, and they go, which one? He goes, it doesn't matter. So now so then they go and he wrestles Primo, and he beats him with the figure 4 leg lock.
The match doesn't matter.
It's like a throwaway, worthless. I don't know what they're doing with The Miz, man. I already told you that.
Rico and Primo don't do anything either.
No. I already told you that Caitlyn wrestled Oksana, beat her clean, so
I saw that.
Who cares about that? The Shield threatens Sheamus, Orton, and Ryback. They're just, again, continuing the same plot line, and it's really weird. Is it going to have a showdown at the Rumble? What's going to happen? Who knows?
Some point.
And then, the main event, Del Rio and Sheamus. Gee, I wonder if they beat The Big Show and Ziggler. Of course they did.
Who got pinned? Or was it just like a throwaway?
It looks like it was actually Del Rio or actually made Ziggler submit? No.
Taz didn't come out, did he?
I don't even see if it says that.
Did Tommy Dreamer come out?
Oh, God. All right. You know what? Enough about WWE. We got to talk about TNA this week, okay? So, we'll talk more about WWE next week because it will be a lead into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Next week we'll have Royal Rumble Sims and everything on DSP Gaming,
Oh, wow.
so next week, you know.
Okay, do we even know who's in the Rumble yet?
No, we're going to have to see what happens in the next week if they give us...
Download a bunch of guys.
Download 1,000 wrestlers.
Yes.
Okay, so TNA this week. Coming off of the Genesis pay-per-view. Honestly, the Genesis pay-per-view wasn't very eventful.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I read the results, and I was like, okay, this is pretty much what I expected to happen. You know, Sting beat Doc. Like, okay, who the fuck cares? You know, Hardy retained. He beat, you know, Rude and
yeah, who are now a crappy team.
and Aries. Yeah, who are our team apparently. Christian York actually won the X Division tournament, and then went up against Rob Van Dam and lost. So wow, that was fucking worth it. So, you know, it was kind of almost like a throwaway pay-per-view. Everything you expected would have happened. No titles really changed. It wasn't anything interesting.
Yeah.
But it was all leading up to this week's TNA Impact because they were saying that this week is going to be the wedding of Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan. And so the whole show is centered around this, you know. Will Hogan walk Brooke down the aisle? And then it shows Tommy Dreamer's there, and, you know, Spike Dudley's there, and they're all in their suits. Taz is in a suit. Everyone's in a suit.
It was insane because you knew, like, the moment they signed Brooke Hogan a couple months ago, that she was going to eventually be a focal point of the company in a terrible, god-awful storyline. And here it was.
The time has come. The time has come.
And there's points in it where it was like, yeah, it dominated the entire show. And points where you're just like, what the hell am I seeing? Like, there's moments when you watch certain things.
It's surreal.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's like, is this really happening?
Sting
and Hogan having these heart-to-hearts.
Sting in the ring in a suit at a wedding with face paint on.
And he's talking to Hulk, and Hogan has a speech about how we've been stabbed in the back, brother, and we can't trust these people. It's like, you're the one that stabbed him in the back 100 times. You're the one he's the one that did it to everyone else. What are you talking about? It's infuriating. And this Sting's like, yeah, but you should be there. You need to be there with your daughter, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And you knew he was going to do it.
So, the culmination of the whole plot line is that will Hogan walk Brooke down the aisle or not?
Right.
And eventually he does at the end of the show.
Well, she comes out alone. She keeps
looking around. Where is he? Is he late? Is he in the bathroom?
And then he comes out. He's got a wedding bandana. Is that what that is?
I guess.
A bandana for a wedding.
That's what I call the wedding bandana.
A folks with a bandana. And then he comes out. And,
so he walks her out to the ring. They're about to be married, and I don't even know. Was it clear? Were they married or not?
No, they weren't.
So they were about to be married.
Well, like, first of all, you used the right word, surreal. The vows. You're the one that always makes me laugh.
Oh my God!
It was just so.
What am I watching?
Yeah, and then Bully's. You kind of expected him because she went first.
Yeah.
So when he went, you almost were like, "Are
you gonna turn?" Right,
I think you're a piece of crap or something. And going to a whole, but he didn't do it.
Self-entitled piece of crap.
Yeah. And it seemed like Bully wanted Hogan to come, like he was luring him, you know. But
right.
He was actually on the up and up.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Aces and eights.
Well, Taz.
Oh, that was right. Taz stops him.
They're about to be married, and Taz goes, hold on.
I want to do this.
You sure you want to do this? And the Bully's like, yeah, I do, okay. I have one other question. Is it hot in here? And Terry takes his jacket off. He's got an aces and eights thing on.
Taz is an aces and eights. Oh my God, it's Taz.
And then the aces and eights came out and beat the crap out of everyone. And they were shocked. Mike Tenay was shocked.
I can't believe this would have possibly happened.
The aces and eights, they attack during every segment at the end of the show. Why they didn't think this would happen, I'm not really sure.
The evil, destructive biker gang who has interfered in everything would possibly interfere in a wedding?
I don't know why no one else came out. Like, you know,
yeah, no one saved them.
All the guys that usually save everybody.
No one came out to save anybody. Pretty funny.
You know, the big thing coming out of it, Taz is a part of it. I think it's actually good. He was getting kind of. I thought he was good in the commentary, but he could do so much more than that. He's as good as anyone on the mic.
Right.
So they definitely needed someone that
They
could
need a
talk.
figurehead, right? Someone, because I think having Devon wasn't really working as him as the.
Well, the group really needs
point of the
help. I
company.
mean, look at this. They need like a really good worker now because they have Devon, Doc,
And Mike
Knox, and Taz Talks, and there's a bunch of other freaking nobodies. So
Right.
the group really needs help, and I mean,
Yeah.
that'll definitely help it. But they're still far away. And one of the weird moments that happened was like Mike Knox and Doc had Brooke, and look at your daddy, look at your daddy. You saw he was down. I guess like her top came down or something.
Yeah,
she was, like, covering herself.
Wardrobe malfunction.
And then at the end of the show, she goes over to Hulk, and he's like, trick on bully, even though he doesn't like bully. I don't know. And she goes, I can't. My top is down.
My boobs are
out.
My boobs are out.
And if you watch it back, I actually missed it, but so I heard someone talk about it. I went back, you could hear her say that.
Ugh.
I can't. My boobs are out.
Funny.
Yeah.
So this is leading into next week. Next week there's going to be a title match. Jeff Hardy against Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, I saw
Daniels beat James Storm at the pay-per-view, earning him a #1 contender shot.
I saw the results. I'm not gonna see what they are, but
Right, we'll talk about it next week.
It's not an amazing show. But they're going to the UK for like 4 impacts. And last year they did this, and they were in like big arenas, and they really looked really good. And they put on good shows, so I expect them to be good
Right.
when they do that.
So they'll have some recorded shows. We'll still talk about them. We're not going to spoil or anything.
Yeah.
So, but that's about it. That's about what happened in wrestling this week.
But they did pop the rating for Impact. They got people
Yes.
talking about the show.
Yes.
People were interested to see what happened. I don't know if that will translate to future views. People were like, I want to see more of this. But they got people to talk about their show, which they don't always get to,
They just have to have Brooke Hogan's tits out every week and at those high ratings. So that's what it is.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So next week, big episode of Smart Guys because it'll be the lead into the Royal Rumble. We'll be able to. Hopefully, we'll know who's in the Rumble. I don't know if we will, but we'll maybe have a better idea of the
probably guess.
card. And we're going to be simulating those matches in WWE 13 for DSP Gaming. We're going to have a lot of stuff next week. More TNA, obviously, whatever happens. So definitely check back here next week for another edition of Smart Guys. But
Yeah, that's it.
that's pretty much it for now. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then.
Okay.